Wild Willie T's Arm Wrestling and Strongman Rants, bringing you commentary, news, and insights on the two sports I love the most, both from a fan's perspective and a journalistic perspective, but with a twist. Lots of rants. Hey folks, and welcome to another show. When I first got into arm wrestling, it was first and foremost because of Devon Larratt. Don't get me wrong, the movie Over the Top was pretty awesome, and I like John Brzenk, but when I discovered Devon Larratt on YouTube videos, I was immediately fascinated with this Canadian warrior. So my knowledge of professional arm wrestling began mostly with Devon Larratt videos, and then subsequently WAL, World Arm Wrestling League videos, and Arm TV on YouTube, courtesy of Gary Roberts. It was through WAL that I got to learn about arm wrestlers like Matt Mask, RVJ, Marcio Barboza, Dave Chafee, Jerry Cadorette, Mike Aiello, Mike Todd, Cobra Rhodes, and many others. Arm TV and Gary Roberts also played a big role in my knowledge of arm wrestling. I already knew of John Brzenk and Devon, and I had already seen footage of Dennis Saplenkoff or Travis Bagent, Michael Todd, Todd Hutchings, Ron Bath, Cleve Dean, Gary Goodridge, Andre Pushkar, and others. But I didn't really start understanding the complexities of the sport until about 2 or 3 years ago. And the more I understood the complexities, the more I could understand the matches and the matchups. I could also see through some of the bullshit we hear from arm wrestlers or commentators because as your knowledge of arm wrestling history deepens with every match you watch, it's easier to pick up on bullshit when you hear it. I've now watched pretty much all of Neil Pickup's Arm Wars past and present, almost every WAL match there ever was, and a good portion of Gary Roberts' videos. I'm subscribed to Ryan Bone, Chance Shaw, Top Roll King, Voice of Arm Wrestling, and pretty much everyone I've already mentioned in this video, along with others that I'm surely forgetting. I've become familiar with Coach Ray and Lavon Sagnashvili and Hermes Gasparini and Vitaly Lalatin and Frode Oglin and others that I didn't know before. Now, if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed to anyone that I've just mentioned, you're missing out. Go over there and subscribe. Enough with the blah, 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 blah. Travis Bagent. One of the best of all time, I'll admit it. He is truly one of the best arm wrestlers to walk the planet ever. But, in my humble opinion, he's only a shadow of the arm wrestler he once was. And he was never as good as he thinks he was, or is, for that matter. I had seen Travis arm wrestle before, and although he had his moments, it seemed he often had whiny bitch syndrome as well.
That's a pin! That's a pin, bro! See this guy? This guy's a bum! The only reason he's up here because of you! Are you kidding me?
I'd also hear him calling pretty big matches in tournaments or reffing matches in tournaments. The first time I heard him was at the Mike Gould Classic when Devon Larratt faced Ron Bath. Here was Travis Bagent in Ontario, Canada, chanting, USA, USA.
All right, here we are. From Canada, Mr. Devon Larratt. And from the great United States of America, on the right, the veteran Mr. Ron Bath. Up in here, USA, USA,
Now, don't get me wrong, at this very moment as I produce this video, a very big part of me wishes that I was living in the USA, in Florida or Texas or any state where freedom still rings for that matter. But I won't get into that on this channel. You can visit my Rumble or BitChute channel for that kind of talk. But all that to say that I have many American friends, and I'm a fan of many American athletes, including many arm wrestlers. But Travis Bagent, I've never been able to like the guy. As a Canadian, I hear so many negative things about Americans, that they're arrogant or loud or obnoxious. And honestly, 95% of the Americans I know or know of, or they are or they seem to be pretty great people. But Travis and a few others, well, they're the guys that seem to give Americans a bad name in Canada. And if I didn't like him, when he was whining in 2008 against Devon in Arm Wars right-handed, or when he was whining at another Arm Wars event in Vegas left-handed, or when he was chanting USA, USA at a Canadian event, well, when he recently appeared on Paul Italia's YouTube show with Jerry Cadorette, he gave me a whole new bunch of reasons to dislike him. And if that wasn't bad enough, he then puts an exclamation mark on his own arrogance and ignorance at the Toddzilla versus Lachlan Adair pay-per-view event. You heard me. The Toddzilla versus Lachlan Adair main event pay-per-view. But I'll get to that later. Not too long ago, Arm Wrestling's favorite villain appeared on Paul Italia's YouTube channel with Jerry Cadorette. And as we see a lot on arm wrestling channels lately, the topic turned to Devon versus Levon at King of the Table 4. It seemed almost as though Travis was going to give Devon some credit for once, even admitting that his bashing of Devon comes from a place of jealousy. Travis was almost winning me over for a minute.
I am extremely fucking jealous that I have 15,000 subscribers and this guy's got 8 million or some shit. I am very fucking disturbed if he is actually making $50,000 every time he goes to Dubai. I am fucking extremely fucking jealous. Yeah. So, but I also too know that I absolutely love that guy, and I am just as jealous of him as I am Larry Wheels and Igor Mazurenko and anybody else who I think has the opportunity to do what I probably should be doing.
Of course, he ruined the rather nice words and honesty by saying Devon and Larry Wheels were doing what he should be doing. Come on. But of course, Travis couldn't stop himself there. He had to open his mouth and insert his foot in true beast form. Paul Italia asked Travis and Jerry Cadorette a question. And I'll get to Jerry's response in a bit, but for now, focus on what Travis says. Notice how Travis basically says he's a great arm wrestler, but he'd rather play poker than practice. Well, no professional athlete gets to the pinnacle of any sport by playing poker instead of training.
Let me ask you guys, what do you guys both think separated Devon from the rest? Was it the social media?
Yeah.
I think Devon loves arm wrestling more than me. I mean, I think that he really fucking enjoys on a daily basis fucking sparring. And I just happen to be very fucking good at it, but it ain't like I would rather play poker. I would rather, watch a fucking youth league football game. The training part of it, the gathering to train is a nuisance to me. And I think that it's not to him.
But it didn't take long. It didn't take long for Travis to reveal the real reason he's now active on YouTube and interested in being recognized as something important in a sport that has basically left him behind.
And he really enjoys it. He enjoys the grind. And I think the grind is the worst part of it. To me, it's just trying to gather the glamour, the attention, and most importantly, to try to maneuver it in a financial situation.
To me, it's just trying to gather the glamour, the attention, and most importantly, to try to maneuver it in a financial situation.
You see, Travis, there's the problem. You don't want to put in the work required to climb that mountain called Levon Sagnashvili. You don't want to give credit where credit is due to Devon Larratt. And you'd rather play it off as something as simple as Devon likes the grind and you don't. Listen, I'm not a pro arm wrestler and I don't claim that I could beat anyone at arm wrestling. But don't expect to be named in the same breath as Devon Larratt if all you think about is glamour, attention, and money. Travis seemed to give Devon a compliment at another point in the video as well, but again, ruined it. Instead of acknowledging the new level of strength and ability that Devon has achieved, he makes it about what he wants. The money.
If he can gather the money, if he can garner the promotion, then he deserves to be the guy. And after the performance against Michael Todd in a one-on-one environment, it is okay that he is our representative from North America. I have no problem with that. However, we both know that there are 5 other people that feel that they should be that guy too. And if we're all not there, there's going to be those guys that throw shade on the whole event. That's all.
You see, Travis isn't cluing in that Devon is getting the shot at Levon because of his ability and the way he manhandled Michael Todd and John Brzenk. He's getting the shot at Levon because he's been a dominant force in the sport of arm wrestling for almost 2 decades and is arguably one of the best to ever pull on both arms. But never mind that, Travis. It's all about the money. Bagent also demonstrated in his interview with Paul Italia that he truly doesn't understand the pride Devon has in his service in the military. Travis basically says that somehow Devon got the shitty end of the stick, but now that he's retired, he can focus on arm wrestling, which is true, but there's a better way to say it.
And I also think that he was deprived a little bit, meaning that he did have to work. And he had a fucked up job, I guess, that made him not even be on location. So now you take a situation where he's retired military at 40 years old, and he has the entire world at his feet.
I wonder, would Travis have said the same thing of a job with the U.S. Marines or the U.S. Navy SEALs? Do you see how Canadians might take offense to comments like that? How Devon Larratt fans may take offense to some of that bullshit? And as for Jerry Cadorette, well, when asked if social media is what separates Devon Larratt from the rest, Jerry, without even thinking about it, says, yeah.
Let me ask you guys, what do you guys both think separated Devon from the rest? Was it the social media?
Yeah.
And later in the video, Jerry even made fun of Devon's boxing match with Thor, as if it's Devon's 400,000 subscribers alone on YouTube that gave him the wonderful chance of fighting Thor. I love how Jerry and other people use the term right? I'm right? I'm an awesome arm wrestler, right? When people use that word, it's when people make outrageous claims. That's when people use that. Pay attention when you watch Jerry Cadorette videos. When he's insecure about something or if he's seeking affirmation because he's not sure he's on point, it's right? Or he says it in a way that if you try to argue, well, you're wrong because he's right.
I like Devon. I think that his social media presence is so strong that that's moved him up more slots than someone else, right? I mean, if you're that popular online, they want that match to be the draw. I mean, fuck, he's so popular that Halfthor needed a boxing opponent, and this guy gets in there and gets to be the fucking boxing opponent, right? So I'm like, holy shit, it would have been better if fucking like my 7-year-old went in and fought the fucking guy, right? But
hey, I don't claim to be able to tangle with Jerry Cadorette or a 7-year-old son, but I'm just curious. When Devon volunteered to fight Thor for Core Sports, and they had very few people willing to do it, sure, maybe Devon was chosen because of his following, but did Jerry Cadorette or Travis Bagent or Michael Todd or Levon Sagnishvili or even Larry Wheels with his 2 million subscribers volunteer to get in a ring with a bona fide giant? It's too bad Jerry went there because I gained some respect for him in that war he had with Devon at WAL. But I guess he forgot that, and he feels that the only reason Devon is getting a shot at Levon is because he's a YouTube star who travels the globe.
whatever, right? Devon's still, he's a lucky motherfucker, right? But he makes it happen. So he's aggressive, assertive, and his social media presence. And every time you turn around, Devon is flying out somewhere. He's in Australia doing fucking videos. He's in India doing videos. He's all over the place. So I mean, he's gathering that following, and where like I'm in Massachusetts, right? So I mean, it's not like I'm not the world traveler. I go to work every day, right? So
like I said, as an arm wrestler, I acknowledge Jerry Cadorette's abilities. But some of the comments that come out of his mouth are outlandish. I understand he's wanting to be in the arm wrestling spotlight, but there are sacrifices that must be made to achieve the pinnacle of any sport. Not sure Wayne Gretzky was selling cars or coaching football on his journey to breaking so many NHL records, nor was Michael Jordan, and nor is Tom Brady. But as bad as Travis and Jerry's comments were up to this point, what Travis said next really left me in a stupor. Who the hell goes after people's parenting abilities or parenting habits, for that matter?
I don't know what his level of interest is with his kids. Like, there's no doubt he's a great fucking human being. I'm sure he's an outstanding father. However, I'm not sure that there's one of his kids is trying to turn pro in an athletic event that would garner his attention. Like, if his kid was a powerlifter, he would have an hour less time to train arm wrestling because he would want to be over there handling that business. It seems to me like his kids are actors, and there is no father, son, father, daughter activity that fucking controls their life. Like, I mean, my kids and I, we have 2 training sessions every day, but not because they want to. It's because I want them to do it. And, you know, so it's just all about what you're interested in. I think the guy's interested in arm wrestling.
Did you notice there, Travis? Again, even with his kids, it seems it's not about what they want, it's what he wants for them. What Travis wants. He's the one that forces them to train. Is he living vicariously through his kids? Does this guy even hear himself? I guess Travis hasn't spent much time on Devon Larratt's YouTube channel, actually watching some of the videos he's posted over the years. I guess he forgets that all of his children are gifted athletes. He's right when he says Devon loves to pull. The whole family loves to pull. Gee, I wonder who the role model is. I wonder where they learnt all those moves. I wonder how a teenager beats a fully grown man. Could it be that dad and mom have both spent countless hours on the arm wrestling table with the kiddos over the years?
You guys don't want to do
And for Travis to claim that they're all actors or something as if it's a bad thing. Well, does he realize that Devon has played a role in those acting skills?
Looking good.
Devon and his kids did a bedtime story on Devon's YouTube channel about scary monsters, and they did it in a skit form once. I'll show you a little tidbit of the skit, but I may feature the whole video in one of my own because it was prophetic.
We can always get Dad. Dad! Dad! Come on.
What are you little babies doing?
We're trying to sleep, but we can't do it.
Yeah.
Can you read us a story?
Well, what do you guys want to hear?
Can you hear the story of Michael?
The story of Michael?
Yeah. It's my favorite.
We haven't read that one in a while, have we?
Since I was 2.
I think it's over here somewhere. Oh, we go? All right, let's gather around. All right, I know you guys have heard this before. You're not going to fall asleep this time, are you?
Nope.
All right, this is the story of Michael.
Jody Larratt, whom we often see at tournaments cheering on her man, is also an actress. We know Devon enjoys Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well. Go figure, so does his son. And Devon uses that awful YouTube channel and the networks he's created to get his son brand new gis and such. But Devon isn't interested in his kids. Or what about the time Devon taught his son and his friends about how as you get older and you incorporate the pancake diet, your stomach grows, and your ability to drink large quantities of water very quickly without getting sick grows exponentially. I mean, not only is he teaching his kids how to fight and how to arm wrestle and how to act, he's giving them biology lessons.
Okay, well, you can't be spraying the stuff all over the place.
No, you can't spill it at all. Like, okay. If you get a little bit, you're sure it's not the end of the world, but like, try to finish it totally.
How about if you spill too much, you're disqualified?
Okay, but like, we'll vote on how it counts.
Ready?
Yeah.
Ready, Marks? Get set, go.
Done.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
I'm gonna tap. That last one's gonna hurt me.
Yeah. I like outweigh you guys by double right now. How was that? Not good, eh? It's pretty terrible. I only got this.
You got a tap left?
Peeing
Yeah,
and peeing and peeing. Now you guys want to go for a run or what? Not me.
I think I'm gonna puke.
You can if you want. It's okay.
Oh, it's going. You didn't get the camera. Come on. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, Darcy. Oh my god. That's commitment right there.
Oh my god.
So it's pretty clear that Travis Bagent doesn't have a sweet clue what he's talking about, and it seems that all he really likes to do is make excuses. Unfortunately, after this past weekend, he has no excuses left. Just when I thought Travis had reached a low point in his career, he plunges deeper into the cesspool. This past weekend, the entire arm wrestling world was anticipating Toddzilla Hutchings versus Lachlan Adair. And there would also be a few other matches, including Travis Bagent and Brandon Alcesser. Now, I hope I pronounced that properly, Brandon. If not, I apologize. But instead of letting Lachlan Adair, who traveled from Australia, and Todd Hutchings, a living legend who has not quit the sport any time in recent years, be the main event, no. Travis puts himself as the main event in a 2 out of 3. I'm not going to comment too much on the matches themselves, other than to say that Travis lost credibility as an announcer, as an arm wrestler, and as a referee at that match. I don't believe Todd Hutchings' first pin on Lachlan Adair was actually a pin when you look at the slow motion replay, but Bagent called the match anyways, and there was no referee down table. When announcing the match, he held the microphone the same distance from that big mouth of his, whether he was whispering or screaming, thus rendering the audio feed of the live stream inaudible. And when it came time for his match, he fouled out twice in the first match, losing, while trying to seemingly injure Brandon with the repeated, violent elbow fouls. He then surprised me when he flash pinned Brandon in round 2, but when he did his little dance of joy and his little dance of arrogance after round 2, it was only right that he got his ass handed to him in round 3 for the loss. And with that, Travis Bagent proved why he's arm wrestlers' #1 douchebag. That we all love to hate and hate to love, of course, but as Travis says after he insults better arm wrestlers than he is, I still love the guy. He's great. I want to be his friend. But he's a douchebag. I'm done now. If you like what you see so far and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and like the videos. If you'd like to follow the work I do covering world issues and political issues, you can check out my work on Rumble or BitChute. Look for Canada's Red Pill and you should find me. The links to my social media accounts and methods of supporting me financially are in the description of the video. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'm Wild Willie T, signing off from Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, Canada.